Your information station. WTIM.
Welcome to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Ebri Cooper, your host. Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville. You'll always do better with Landmark. People's Bank and Trust. They put people first. Find the streams on WTIM TV YouTube or on Facebook. Just search TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. I have State Treasurer of Illinois, Michael Frericks, on the phone. Great to have you back here, Treasurer.
Maybe good morning. Great to be back.
Great to have you here, Treasurer, and it's always great to go over some of the highlights of the State Treasurer's office over the past month since we last talked. One of those things that you are ready to discuss is your unclaimed property program, or your iCash program, which returned quite a bit of money in the month of March, $22.7 million. That is quite the accomplishment, Treasurer. What say you?
We are excited about this because we know that when we put more money back into Illinois citizens' hands, when your listeners go out and check our website at illinoistreasurer.gov and find money, they then spend that money in the Christian County area. That money is spent at local restaurants, local businesses. Circulating throughout the economy does much more good for Central Illinois than it does sitting in a cold bank vault in Springfield. So we're excited about this. We have smashed records returning unclaimed property. It's a lot of fun, Avery. It's like I get to play Santa Claus 365 days a year. But it is my job. It makes the state better, and we're always looking for ways to improve it.
And you've also returned a record amount since you've taken office. What do you feel has been the big difference between you and maybe other times with the iCash program specifically?
To put this into perspective, the year before I took office, we returned 50,000 properties. iCash wrote 50,000 checks. Last year, we wrote more than 220,000. So multiple times more. That's because we worked with the General Assembly to make it easier for people to claim their money. I heard too many stories from too many people saying it was too difficult to claim their money. As I said, this money does more good for the state back in people's pockets than it does sitting in a vault in Springfield. So we asked how we could make it better. State law didn't make it so easy, so we went to the General Assembly and passed bipartisan legislation, creating programs like Fast Track, which allow us to do internet searches to verify people's identity. We did things like e-claiming, so you didn't have to mail things. You could take a picture and upload it really quickly. We instituted a program called Money Match, which uses state databases, compared them to our database of unclaimed property, and in many cases, we're just able to mail out hundreds of thousands of checks to people in the state of Illinois who were owed this money. So I think it's common sense reforms, working in a bipartisan manner, and utilizing today's technology that have just allowed us to return magnitudes more money and claims.
Again, that's $1.6 billion since Treasurer Frericks took office in January 2015. A six-fold increase due to some of the changes that you and your office have made, from 60,000 claims paid in a year to over 360,000 claims paid in a year. And, that's quite a few claims. It makes me wonder, are you going to run out of things to, claim eventually? How much is sitting in a vault, as you put it?
That would be the goal, but I don't think that's going to happen. In some cases, these claims they've been sitting around for a while. It's very difficult to track down their owners or their heirs, but also because we continue to bring in new unclaimed property all the time. This is one of the things we also do, not just to return money, but to fight to find companies and financial institutions that are holding on to money that belongs to Illinois citizens. So we're constantly bringing in more money. So we encourage listeners, if they found money in iCash a year ago, 2 years ago, check again. It's just in the 8 years I've been in office, I have found 3 different claims that were owed to me. Everyone says to me, well, I keep track of my money, and that may be true. But maybe there was a company that owed you money, and they mailed that check to the wrong address. Or maybe they mailed it to you in a nondescript envelope that looked like junk mail, and you threw it away. Just because you didn't cash that check doesn't mean the bank or the company gets to keep that money. It still belongs to you. And if they can't track you down and get it to you, we will take that money and hunt people down.
Yeah, there is over $3.5 billion worth of unclaimed property, whether that's cash, stock options, or values, or just items, plain old items that or metals that you've returned to people. Anything else that you'd like to add about your iCash program, Treasurer Frericks?
Yeah, just that we find that 1 in 4 people who go to our website at icash.illinoistreasurer.gov find we have something that belongs to them. The average amount is about $1,000. That amount is going to increase dramatically, that average amount next year, because last year we had the largest unclaimed property return in U.S. history. The gentleman left $11 million in accounts without naming an heir. It's quite the story. He had amassed quite a fortune. He was a humble, frugal individual up in Chicago. Didn't have any children. All his siblings had passed away. They didn't have any children, and we had to deputize some people to try and track down who his closest relatives were to return that money.
Treasurer, another program that you offer the citizens of Illinois includes your Ag Invest program, which is observing its 40th year this year and also another major milestone. Tell me a little bit more about it.
Yeah, we're excited about this. I grew up in a farming community, in a farming family, and I know that agriculture is the number one industry in the state of Illinois. We want to make sure that farmers have access to the capital they need to put a crop in the ground and take it out every year, or money they need to buy new equipment or modernize their operations. And so we came in and, much like unclaimed property, asked some questions. How could we do this better? We talked to farmers, we talked to bankers, we talked to farm bureaus, found out that agriculture has changed a lot over the last 40 years, but our program hadn't really evolved with it. And after we made some of those changes, we had a big uptick in interest in our program. We've loaned out over $1 billion since taking office, $1 billion to help our farmers create wealth for them, for their families, and for our state. So we're really excited to celebrate this, and then we'll get back to work tomorrow helping more farmers in the future.
$1 billion over an 8-year period. That is quite the progress that you've been able to make. And since even its inception in 1983, Ag Invest has loaned more than $5 billion in operating lines of credit and long-term loans. Now, one of the other parts of the Ag Invest is the annual Cream of the Crop photography contest for young Illinoisans. I know we've briefly talked about it, but let's go ahead and talk about it again. Tell me a little bit more about the Cream of the Crop photo contest.
It's a photo contest for children between 8 and 18. They can go out, take photos, submit 2 of their best ones electronically to us. We have judges who will judge them in 3 different age categories, and we'd love to meet the winners at the Illinois State Fair. And last year, at the 10-year anniversary of Cream of the Crop, we presented them with scholarships. There has been a lot of success in this contest out of Christian County. We hope there will be some more in the future. What we really want to do is encourage young people to go out with their cameras and look at modern agriculture, to get out on the farms and in the fields and see what it looks like today. I think a lot of young people have stereotypes in their head about what farming is. And I think that if we get them out there looking at agriculture, we're going to spark some interest and hopefully create that next generation of ag leaders.
Fantastic. And you can go to Cream of the Crop. Let's see. I had it open here. It's IllinoisTreasurer.gov, and then look for the Cream of the Crop photo contest. And also, I'm backtracking a little bit here, Treasurer, beg your pardon, but how much when we talk about lines of credit and utilizing the Ag Invest program for the use of updating and modernizing farming equipment, how much can a farmer borrow?
It depends how many people are involved in the operation, and we can make exceptions in certain purchases or certain examples. But they can borrow up to $800,000 for longer-term loans. If they're purchasing land, we can go a little more because we know that land is expensive. But that was one of the changes we made. We had limits on how much a farmer could borrow, and some of those limits were less than the cost of a combine. And so they told us farm equipment has gotten much more expensive. We need more money. I'm amazed, Avery, when people talk to me about, oh, well, farmers are small businessmen. They may be small in terms of number of employees, but they are large in terms of capital it takes to run a farm. To buy the seed, the fertilizer, the inputs that go into putting a crop in the ground is expensive. Operating all this is expensive, and sometimes these farmers need access to capital, and that's what we want to do here in the Treasurer's Office. Make sure they have access to the financing they need to do their job, to support their families, and to support our communities throughout the state of Illinois.
Feels like you could utilize the Ag Invest program too for just about anything farm related. Is there, what kind of things out? You mentioned land, equipment, tractors. What other kinds of things might a farmer use the Ag Invest program for?
Yeah, so we have annual loans that can be used for things like fertilizer or herbicide or seed, things you need to put the crop in the ground. If you're looking to modernize your farm and to buy new equipment, it can be used for tractors, for combines, for wagons. If you're looking to grow your operation, you can use it for purchasing land. There are some farmers who look to transition to organic farming. They see some real potential there and higher costs for their inputs, but it can take a while to do that, and we can help them with that transition. There are some farmers that see specialty crops that they can make money in, but it can be difficult to build new greenhouses or to transition their farms to new crops, and we stand ready to help those people as well. They know what it's going to take. These people put a lot of risk out there and a lot of hard work and sweat to make money to support their families, and we want to stand next to them in that process.
You can learn more information when you go to IllinoisTreasurer.gov and click on the programs and find Ag Invest. That is State Treasurer Michael Frericks here on the WTIM Morning Show. More after a short time out right here on WTIM, your information station.
WTIM. Your information station, WTIM.
It's the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper. People's Bank and Trust proud to bring this stream on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com's Facebook and WTIM TV YouTube. They put people first. Along with Landmark at Taylorville, you'll always do better with Landmark. State Treasurer Michael Frericks is on the phone right now. And, you know, State Treasurer, I think when people think of the State Treasurer's office, they think of a bunch of people who handle money. And that's true. You do handle a lot of money and you deal with the state's finances. But you, as State Treasurer, also go around the state and talk to different people about their money and about the way that the state operates and how you can help other local entities. And one of the things that you did recently is you visited with a bunch of local chambers of commerce. How did that go?
Went really well. You know, I talked about how we tried to help farmers in this state be more profitable, make more money, grow more wealth. We tried to do the same thing with businesses as well. So I talked to the Chamber of Commerce last night about a few programs that we have that can be helpful. One is our Illinois Growth and Innovation Fund, where we invest in Illinois-based venture capital to help grow Illinois technology-enabled companies. We can make a good return on investment in those companies, but when we help them to grow and hire more people with good wages, that does a lot more for our economy. We have a new program to invest in infrastructure in Illinois to help with our roads and bridges and necessary infrastructure for our businesses. And also they had some questions about our Illinois Secure Choice Retirement Program, how it affects their businesses and how it helps their employees. So we're always looking, in addition to raising money for the state, to help grow our businesses in Illinois.
From a state perspective and whatnot, how do you feel these chambers of commerce around the state aid the mission of a better economy for all of Illinois?
Well, I think they work with a lot of small businesses. If you're running a small business or a business, it's helpful to be able to network and learn from other people, to maybe make connections that could help you be more profitable, maybe business connections. In the Treasurer's office, we want to help grow business in Illinois. We want to help grow jobs in this state. But I don't have a huge budget for advertising our programs, and so we have to partner with people to help get the word out. And Chambers of Commerce are great partners for disseminating information about our programs to their member businesses throughout the state of Illinois.
Do you have any more visits planned in the coming weeks or months?
Always running around, but in a couple of months, we're going to start staying a little closer to home because that comes a little closer to my wife's due date. Wife is pregnant, and we are very much looking forward to growing our family this summer. And at that point, I'm going to be going back to a lot more of those Zoom meetings and staying closer home to help her out for a little while.
Well, congratulations to you. Boy or a girl?
I currently have a daughter. I will not be having another daughter.
Okay. All right. Well, boy and a girl. That's always an interesting dynamic between the two, the brother-sister dynamic. I'm interested. I'm really happy for you, Treasurer Frericks. That sounds like I'm speechless.
I am very excited. You know, I have one child. I didn't want her to be the only child. There's a little bit of time between them, but I think she's excited to help out with little brother.
My brother and I are about 5.5 years old. Is that a bigger or smaller age gap that you're looking at?
Oh, a much larger age
Okay.
gap. I started earlier, and this pregnancy is a little later in life. She's 14 right now.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if she knows this, but she's going to be doing an awful lot of babysitting.
All right. State Treasurer, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day, and congratulations on the new addition of your family in the next couple of months.
Thank you very much.
All right.
You have a great day.
All right. You too. Thank you. As you are listening to the WTIM Morning Show, your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville. You'll always do better with Landmark and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. You'll find the streams on the TaylorvilleDailyNews.com Facebook or on YouTube at WTIM TV.
WTIM.